Now we're looking at the Portman, and the problem is with the Portman, they're all cracking in the front.
They're all cracking right along here. And the problem we found is that this is part of this, whereas this molding, this molding, this molding, the bottom part of this is all separate, but this part here is part of the top. And of course we're getting movement between the two, so they're always going to crack. What I had to do on this one was take the top off, and I found that it had shrunk quite a bit, which you can see at the back. It has shrunk that much. And it wasn't, even though you left it floating, there was wood filler applied all along this edge, and the other edge would act just like glue. So in other words, now the top wasn't floating, so when this shrunk, something had to give, and it cracked right here. What I'm suggesting on these is this molding is left as a molding all the way around. Don't try to make it part of the front here. And then along that front edge and along here, you can leave this as a micro bevel. Don't try to hide it completely. And leave it stick out the back, maybe a good 1/8 of an inch or so, because we know it's going to shrink and come back in. It was left floating, but that was, once you put in the wood filler, it acted as a glue here, and then she had to go. She cracked. So just do not make this part of the top. Make this a separate, use this as all the separate molding all the way around. The other thing we're noticing on these is they're cupping quite a bit, which will happen. On this one, for example, there's only 2 boards. One board from here to here, one from here to here. Suggesting that you use boards about half that size. So you'd have 4 across here instead of the 2. They wouldn't cup and warp so much. Should hang in there a little better.
Here's one of the original Portmans, and you can see the molding. The front molding is actually separate from the top itself. You can see the line there. And then I guess what Bob is also suggesting is that you leave a little groove along the edge there to allow it to float, to allow it to move. But this one we had no problems at all.